We typically go live every Thursday. Typically, we do Soto 619 versus WTP every Thursday.
Oh,
Sometimes we feature Jimmy.
Going live
Hey.
studio. Here we go.
what is up, Mr. Bryan Clark?
I
How's
can't
it
hear
going?
them. What am I doing wrong here? Bear with me.
Ow.
Audio. How about that? Am I in?
Yes,
You're
sir.
in.
Okay, I can hear you.
You're in.
Yeah. All right.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
What's up, guys?
Going on?
How's it going?
I'm good, man.
Good. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man. We little tech issues on my side, also, so yeah. But thanks for getting me on.
It's
Patient
all
with
good.
us
Happens
too.
to all of us.
So, Mr. Clark, if you want to give everyone a quick introduction of who you
Yeah.
are.
Hey, right here. Welcome to the Adam Bombcast. It's actually your show tonight. I'm just joining you, but thank you for having me. Wrestling Today podcast show. I know you guys have just watched TNA. I caught part of that. That looked great as usual. I'm on Monday nights, 1 hour prior to SmackDown, 1 hour to Raw, 1 hour prior to SmackDown on Friday nights. If you don't know who I am Bryan Clark, former 3-time World Tag Team Champions, All Japan Tag Team Champions, and I'm here to do some Q&A with you guys.
Oh, yeah. We have been looking forward to this for about a week already, which, me and Brian said, I messaged him and he kindly agreed to come up with us. And we've been promoting it all week. I know I catch you live every now and then. You are active here on TikTok quite a bit. I think Wiccan sent me your live one time, and that's how I found you.
Yeah, man, he's really good. Big supporter there. Yeah, big supporter of the Bombcast, man. He's really good. We got some guys from over UK. Matter of fact, we did a deal this past Friday. I did Conrad Thompson's show for SummerSlam, and that was a blast. It's the SummerSlam watch party. But I did a contest on my show where I gave away a new action figure. This one here, actually, not to plug my own stuff, but anyway, a blue Chase Bendy, a rare one. And a guy in the UK won it, so I shipped that out to him on Monday. So if he's awake, it's on the way.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I see you, like I said, back active on here. I've seen some of those action figures quite a bit as well. And I might pick me up one because you say your shop is opening soon, right?
Real soon. And I've got, I think, 4 new figures for collectors out there. I got 4 new figures dropping this year. So yeah, man, I got a lot going on, but it's all good, positive stuff. You know what I mean?
Very nice. So without further ado, we're just gonna get right into the Q&A here. I've written down some questions. Everyone else has as well.
Let me hear from. I want to hear from the rest of you guys, Soto and Jimmy. Tell me about you guys. Let's hear it. Where you guys? Are you guys all in Dallas?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I am in Tennessee.
Where?
Tennessee.
Okay.
He's in Tennessee. Jimmy, your audio is a little low.
Okay.
Cool.
And
then
Soto,
I'm
you
in,
are here.
I'm in San Diego.
San Diego. Okay. Nice.
So yeah, we're all scattered all across. I know you're from Arizona or reside in Arizona.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
I'm the only one in Dallas.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we're just scattered all over.
I just talked to Sean Stasiak real briefly tonight, and he ran into Bobby Lashley. I guess Bobby just moved to Dallas. So you got 2 new neighbors right there.
Ooh.
Couple of legends.
I have to go around Dallas.
I hear Bobby's a free agent.
I hear the same thing, man. Sean told me, he said he was recovering from a tricep tear, arm injury, and so yeah, man. He looks great from the pictures that I see recently, though. He looks really good shape. Yeah, he could. I still think he's, because he's taking such good care of himself. I think he's probably got another run if he wants it.
I agree. I definitely agree that Bobby still got a lot left in the tank.
Yeah.
Little time away won't hurt, though.
So it looks like we already have a question from one of the followers, Edgar Orlando.
Okay.
He wants to know, how was it working with The Undertaker and Kane?
Considering we only worked one time, which was one match, The match really was not that great, but people sort of jump to it and say, well, this happened, this happened. But if they look at it, uh, nobody was really healthy in that match. It was a rushed angle. I point this out to people, but for anyone that ever goes back and watches that match, you can see Kane's elbow is really hugely taped. He had to was trying to come back from a huge staph infection. And I know me personally, I had a neck injury. Not making excuses. It just wasn't as good as it could have been. I think the chemistry was off, honestly. But as I look back on it, and I even mentioned this to the agents at the time, I said, "Hey, let's work a week or two of house shows because we've been off TV for over a year." And you need that time to knock the rust off, so to speak. But yeah, I think it could have been much better. But as far as the question was, how was it working with them? No problem. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was a good question. And then Benzo was asking, how was it working with Big Vito? Because I actually saw that clip and posted it to my TikTok to promote this podcast. And
Oh yeah, Vito. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm still friends with Vito. Even today. Yeah, we always chit chat back and forth through social media, and he's actually getting back in the ring, which I was a little surprised, but good for him, man. He's kept himself in shape, and he's got a great character. The Don, Big Vito. So yeah, it's good, man. I like it. The good look, and I think he can still do something with it.
oh yeah, definitely agree with that. So I'm gonna ask you some questions I've wrote down personally.
All right.
Some stuff I've been intrigued with. Looking back at your history, like who or what got you into wrestling? First off, I don't think no one really asked you that kind of question that I've seen. Like, what was like your biggest
Of course,
inspiration?
I've had that question. Yeah, no big deal. Yeah, I sort of grew up watching it. Honestly, I watched it as a kid, and then I actually got to see some shows. I'm from Florida originally, so I was watching the old Florida Championship stuff. So I grew up on that. But I think my first actually going to see a match, I was probably about 8 years old, 8, 9 years old, somewhere around that age, and just sort of got hooked on it. Wasn't my first thought of going, I got to do that kind of thing. But I do think it sort of planted the seed of somewhere down the line because I went from out of high school and into the military, served in the military, from the military right into college football, and then to pro wrestling. So I think that the seed was planted probably at a very young age, just watching it and then following the product even through the years of the military and college. I still followed it. So I think it was always sort of there.
Okay. Yeah, I did see you were in the military for quite a while. I mean, which branch were you part of?
Air Force. Air Force.
How many
Yeah,
years were you
all my
active?
family's all military. Yeah.
And how many years were you active in the military?
3.5.
3.5?
3.5 years, and then from there to college football into pro wrestling.
Nice.
So I did it a little differently.
Yeah, usually it's college
the
then
way around,
military,
right? Yeah,
and then
yeah.
wrestling.
So yeah, man, I did it a little differently, but it still all worked out.
Well,
Oh,
big
yeah.
shout out to the military. Thank you for our service.
Oh yes,
Thank
thank
man.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank
No
you.
worries.
Josiah also says
Absolutely.
thank you.
Sure.
George, we do have another question over here. What was your favorite wrestling match of your career?
Wow. That could be broken up as a singles. I was also a tag team partner with Chris Canyon and was Wrath and Mortis. Then, of course, with Brian Adams as Chronic. And then I had a singles run as Wrath. I had another singles run, of course, as Adam Bomb. So it varies, man. I would have to say for me, the top, if I had to break it down to two, I would say first would be the tag team championships with Brian Adams. 3 world titles, all Japan champions. That would be the first, of course. But then the undefeated streak that Wrath went on as a single, I would probably say would be my a close second.
Okay. I mean, speaking of that run, your streak. How many matches did you win straight?
I don't know the exact number. That'd be a great trivia question. I need to write that down. That'd be a great question. I know that I went undefeated for like 7 or 8 months. I want to somewhere around that time frame. Yeah,
Because
I invented the meltdown. Do you guys know what the meltdown is? It's a finishing
yes,
move that I invented that, and so yeah, man, that really propelled me to go for so long without actually losing a match. Yeah.
Well, if anybody in the chat can look it up, let's see how many matches he went undefeated on.
I do
Maybe
know it
we'll
was
get an
over
answer from the
20.
chat.
And also, guys, I'm on Real Bryan Clark on X, Real Bryan Clark there, and of course on this platform, I have what's called Monday Meltdown, and so every Monday somebody's getting a meltdown throughout my career. So all the meltdowns, I beat a lot of people with that move. So
Oh yes.
I even got Ming, which is Haku. I got him in the meltdown. He was about 320 pounds at the time. So yeah, man, it was good though. It really helped propel that undefeated streak.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I guess this is going to kind of go tied in with your streak. But Josiah's asking, did you ever fight Goldberg?
Oh yeah, absolutely yes, in the U.S. and in Japan. As a matter of fact, as Wrath, and then also as part of Chronic, we fought Goldberg, and then also Bill had never been to All Japan, and so we didn't get Bill into All Japan, but he was there the same time we were there. And Bill really didn't understand the culture, and really, he was very leery of All Japan and them hurting his just the way his character, because his character was so strong. And we just said, look, hey man, just listen to Bryan, listen to me. We'll walk him through it a little bit, but in a good way, So we were looking out for him, and he trusted us because he'd worked with us in WCW, and he knew myself and Brian Adams, of course. And yeah, man, I enjoyed working Bill, sure did. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of history right there with just Bill Goldberg.
Yeah.
He's pretty much up there, and stars of today and past. I mean,
Good guy, man. Really good guy too, for sure.
how many matches did you have with him?
Wow. If you had to count house shows and everything, hard to say. I can't really remember the actual number, but definitely a few pay-per-views. And the last time I really remember this because the last time I worked with Bill, this was in All Japan. I don't know if it was the Tokyo Dome show or not, but he speared me through a table so hard. It was part of the match, of course, but it was big pop in the crowd, in Japan. So yeah, I like working with Bill. His style was very much similar to ours.
Oh yeah, you and your partner and Bill, y'all are some big guys. I mean,
Yeah, man. Well,
I do briefly remember.
I was and I like to fly too. I would fly, man. I would do all the high flying stuff, which I enjoyed that. But you didn't see guys that were. I was 6'6", 290. You just didn't see that a lot. Even today, you don't see that. Very rarely. You see a couple of guys, which I like. Lance Archer, I stay in touch with him, and I think he's a really great talent for a big guy. And then of course, Karrion Kross is another big guy with a lot of talent, and Brian Cage, another guy. So yeah, man, you just don't see the really big guys doing it, but there are a few that really do it well.
I mean, speaking of big guys, I know you watched Monday Night Raw, right?
Oh yeah.
What did you think of Bronson Reed?
Wow, man, what an impact! I mean, he was already doing really a good job, but for him to take out Seth Rollins like that, excellent job. Now let's just see what they do with him. I think it could be a big opening for him, but then again, there's so many guys that are climbing the ladder right now. But that was really good for his career, I think. Maybe not so good for Seth Rollins, but yeah, part of the story, man, and that was really good. I liked it.
I saw that they wanted Seth to heel, so that's why they gave him that angle. But
yeah,
go ahead.
no, hit me with that again. You said because they wanted him to turn heel. Is that what you're saying? Or
No, they wanted him to heel
physically?
to get physically correct.
Okay, what was wrong with him?
I was just reading online this morning. They just wanted
Okay.
I
give him
know
some time
he's
off
been
to
banged
heal.
up for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay,
Obviously,
yeah.
the knee and all that. So
Okay, it was a knee issue. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, well, he sold it really well. I mean, I thought it was great that, for him to take what? How many did it take? Six? Was it
I
six
think it was more
splashes
than
off 5 or
six.
6? Right? Yeah. I mean, it kept going, and that was the beauty of it. I thought to really for him to sell that, he could sell that for easily a couple of months, you know,
Oh yeah.
and then take his time and they rebook it however they want to do it. But it now, if they would, I think they could actually have him do that to somebody else again. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So do the same thing again. Maybe not 6, but maybe every time, you know, 2 or 3 times to whoever he beats, say next week, because he's going to go and win a few matches in a row. So I would let him do that. If I was booking it, I would say, okay, it worked. Now let's do it again the following week.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I think a lot of us fans actually been wanting to see something from Bronson Reed, and the way they did it with Seth, I think that really does put him in a position to where they need to book him as a dominant force. Because you don't have him just go out there, do Seth in, and then just wash it under the bridge or whatever. You got to keep it going, right? I mean,
I think,
like
yeah,
you said,
I think so.
you would book it perfectly from what I just heard. But I
It
know,
definitely doesn't hurt his it doesn't hurt his career at all for that what just happened, and then again to follow it up. Wouldn't you agree, Jimmy?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I know Jimmy had some questions for you.
Hit me with it, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You're being quiet
I
down
didn't
there.
want to.
I texted you, Jimmy. I said, "Come on, man."
So I have a question for you. Given that you have not, past or present, that you have not faced, who would you like to face?
Drew McIntyre.
Oh, two big guys. Okay, I like that one. I mean, what's particular
That
about
didn't
Drew
take
that you
long,
like?
did it?
No, that was easy.
That was easy, man. No, there's others. Lance Archer would be another guy. Karrion Cross would be another guys that I'm looking at that's my style and that would be a good matchup. Drew's probably 6'5", what is he, 270, 265, 270, something
Top of
that
the head.
neighborhood. Yeah, and then Lance Archer is probably 6'7", somewhere around there. So yeah, those guys physically would be a great matchup if we're talking, my prime and their prime. Not now, of course.
I mean,
But
you
back in
still
the
look like
day,
you're in
yeah.
good shape, man. You probably couldn't.
There you
I
go.
try, man. I'm just trying to keep it together, man. I get up every morning and I do the ice plunge at about 44 degrees
Oh
for
damn.
4 minutes. That's every morning for 4 minutes in the ice plunge, man. And that starts my day. And then I can get my workout in, and then I do the hot sauna and then weight training and stuff. So yeah, all that stuff. It all ties in for me. For
Sounds
staying
like we need
healthy.
a day in the life of Bryan Clark.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm
a
trying to get
video.
it
I
over
think you
the
can
state.
post a montage.
Pizza
Well,
montage.
yeah, I thought about it. Trust me. As soon as I get, I'm just getting getting this TikTok page started. But once I get it rolling, definitely, I call my home gym the bomb shelter. So it's I got it all set up, and it would be a good tour to add to this station here for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, you just said the bombshell, right? I guess younger fans.
The bomb shelter, the bomb
Bomb
shelter.
shelter. My bad.
There you go. This is
You
the
know,
That's on him.
bombcast, but yeah,
It's bad.
That's on me. My bad.
No,
But
you're good. You're
a lot of
good.
the younger fans don't know you as Adam Bomb. You know.
Right.
I mean, can you tell us how that came to be? WWF Adam Bomb.
Well, I really got my first break after I was trained actually at the original power plant, which you probably never even heard of it, but it was a couple of power plants prior to the last one they had, prior to OVW, prior to the WWE, their training center in Tampa. This was one of the original ones in Atlanta, and I was trained there. And I got my first break in Smoky Mountain Wrestling with Jim Cornette. You probably guys heard of Jim Cornette, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Jim and Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. Actually, Paul put in a good word to Jim about me because I had wrestled Paul in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And so Paul took a look at me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna you come to Smoky Mountain with me." And so I did, and of course Jim Cornette got to meet me, and I had a it wasn't really a tryout match, but he still took a look at me, you know. And so yeah, that's how I got started. And yeah, man, it was got the ball rolling basically for me, and I'm thankful to Paul for that, and of course Jim Cornette giving me a break. Yeah,
Very nice. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of us, a lot of the younger fans, like I said, they would never know any of those things right there because they
yeah,
only know what NXT. They know a little bit
yeah,
about
exactly.
OVW, obviously from
Right.
the Netflix series that they got going on. Um,
Yeah.
man, I didn't know there was more power plants.
Oh yeah. I was at the original. I talked to Sarge, call him Sarge, which is Buddy Lee Parker. He's the one of the main trainers there, or the trainer really. Him and Jody Hamilton. Jody was really oversees everything, but Jody was a legend in his own right. But Sarge, yeah, I think there may have been two students in the entire thing, three at the max when I first went down there. So yeah, it was the very beginning of any type of a training facility, at least. Um, you know,
Okay, so I just got a question though. Like, who came up with the character Atom Bomb?
WWE did once I
W-
WWF at the time, so WWE. So I'll just going forward on any Atom Bomb questions, I'll say WWE in case anybody misses it. However, yeah, they came up with that character. I had a tryout with those guys also while I was about a year into Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I got a call. Sergeant Slaughter says, "Hey man, you want to come up and try out?" And I did, and I got the job the first night. So they hired me pretty much. Yeah, the first night I had two tryouts, but they gave me the job the first night. And the second night they just took another look at me. But yeah, so I signed a contract and I went home, and then they came up with that character. Actually, Tom Fleming. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's an artist for now. He works for Marvel Comics. But Tom was the guy who really came up with the whole creation of Atom Bomb, the name, the character, a little bit of the storyline with it, and I became Atom Bomb. So yeah, that's the
Oh yeah,
backstory.
nice. Because I've always been curious, like who came up with a lot of these names and the characters back in the
Yeah,
day.
and back then what they did was they trademarked a lot of different characters and a lot of different names. They would come up with some names. Some were, you know, cartoonish type, and mine was actually very much cartoon. However, I mean, if you look around here, you can see that it worked out because the character is the word toyetic, which means, I mean, they're making so much merchandise with it. I can't hardly keep up with it. Action figures, U.S. and U.K. Merchandising places, two different ones for me personally. So yeah, man, it was a good character, and it's lasted. It's been able to withstand the time and the changes because when people go back and look at the history of it, they get it and say, "Oh man, this is a really cool character," as far as the look and the presentation of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, another one more question about the atom bomb. Like, which one would you
Sure.
prefer to be known as, Wrath or Atom Bomb?
I would probably say Wrath or Chronic, honestly, if I had to say, just because I had so much more success with those two, with Wrath, with Chris Canyon as Mortis. We that was a really successful team, even though it could have been much more so. And then, of course, when I got the team with Brian Adams as Chronic and winning the three championships, I would have to say with that would probably be my best. Just as I wrestle as Bryan Clark, one half of Chronic.
Yeah.
So I would probably say that would you know definitely the most success, and almost I would probably say just about as much fun as I've ever had in my career, which a lot of times you don't really put those two together. But I was blessed to have a great partner, and so yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I've seen some of your highlights, especially the WWE stuff with Kai and Tai. I was like, holy crap.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That's what I mean. Yeah, that was good times right there.
Um, I would love to know because I read that you were supposed to have a intercontinental title run and kind of just what led up to that not happening. I guess.
Just like anything else, there's always change of plans, last minute decisions, kind of thing. Yeah, but they were pushing me right up until the King of the Ring, and then I ended up losing in the finals. I think it was. I'm guessing. I can't quite remember. I want to say it was the finals of the King of the Ring, not in the actual, maybe the pre-tournament or something like that. Anyway, they switched gears at the last moment. Said, okay, they're going another direction. So that's really what happened. As a talent, you really are sort of, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it would have been great to have it, but you learn from those things and say, okay, well, now I got to go a different direction. And so, that's just sort of the way it happens. But yeah, it would have been nice. Yeah, been a lot more money.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
I know Jimmy had some more questions up there.
Yeah. So speaking of your tag team partner, Brian Adams, if you could choose any manager to represent you, past or present, who would you choose?
I think for the team of Chronic, honestly, we didn't need a manager. We were so big and bad and kind of dominant type characters that we really didn't need a manager. Initially, I would say Adam Bomb needed a different manager. He definitely could have had a manager at the time. I had a couple of managers, but just wasn't the right fit. But again, I don't think Chronic ever really needed. We never had a manager. There was talk of one actually having a girl with us as a like a valet slash. And there were a couple of girls that were named that we thought about it, and we both had a lot of creative control, and just decided that we're better off as just Chronic, just going out there and kicking ass, So yeah, we it would have watered us down some, and I think it was probably the best decision.
Oh, very nice. I mean, the name Chronic, was that part of the WCW run that carried into
Yes,
WWE?
correct. Yeah, yes. WCW into WWE for a cup of coffee, and then over to Japan. So that's basically the way it worked. Um,
Okay.
I actually, I talked to my partner Brian. We had talked. I've mentioned this before on a couple other shows, but I wanted to go from WCW right into Japan. But he was pretty good friends with Taker, and so he sort of talked. I don't say talk me into it. We always agreed on everything, but we just said, okay, we'll go here and see how things work out. And unfortunately, they didn't last. We still signed a 1 year contract, fully paid. We just did, yeah, it just didn't work out. And so from there, once that contract was over with, straight to Japan, which is what I wanted to do, but we just did it at a later date. Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned WWE signing the contract for 1 year. Were you part of the original takeover of WWE over WCW?
Not the very yeah, because a lot of guys, if you remember back to the first, it was called they called it the invasion angle.
Yeah.
A lot of people even say, and I'll say this too. I think that if they would have booked it differently, that could have been the Super Bowl of pro wrestling. It could have been the biggest pro wrestling of all time. And even so many big names in the business will tell you that if it would have been booked a little differently, it would have been much different. And I mean, I say different as in better. I think you could have done so much more with it. But there were so many guys that had big contracts in WCW that if you notice that the guys that they brought in originally, except for maybe Booker and who else, maybe DDP, Booker, but everybody else they brought in, those were guys that had, I would say, low paying contracts, but the contracts were minimal compared to what the guys that didn't go. So we still, when WCW folded, we still had like another year or so on our contract. So there was no reason for us to leave leave money on the table, so to speak. And so we did a lot of things like what the Steiners did, and Scott Steiner and Goldberg and a lot of other guys. We, you know, like any smart person, you would don't leave money on the table. You want to, you know, you if you look at it like, hey, through the hard work and through the effort and the bumps and the everything else you've gone through your career. So if there's a chance for you to make money and that you're guaranteed already, you wouldn't want to just leave that and go and drop that money and go take money from somewhere else that's not guaranteed at the time.
Oh yeah. Very
if that
smart.
makes sense.
That's smart business right there.
Yeah, well, you got to be, man, especially in this business.
Jimmy, did you have any other questions? Because I do have stuff from current day.
Okay.
Mine's current too, but if you want to ask first, go ahead.
Yeah, let's shoot it. All right. I know you're a big wrestling fan. Even nowadays, you keep up with it. I would love to know what your favorite storyline is right now, and where do you think it's gonna go?
Well, I really like Drew McIntyre's work, and I've sort of followed the whole Punk and that whole storyline, of course, and it's been going for months, as you guys know. I was thinking back at Clash at the Castle. I was like, man, there's no way Drew's going to lose, two times in his home country, right? You guys think, and I know you guys are thinking the same thing. I was like, damn, man, they were really there. But then you think of long term booking. Okay, this is going to play out to what it is today, which was actually a good idea. I still think Drew has definitely another title run in him. If they don't capitalize on that, I'll be surprised just because there's a ton of money. And I've said it before, Drew is due as in another world title run. Really like the stuff that they're doing with my old neighbor back in ATL. I'll tell you a quick story. I had Scott Steiner on one side and we had Rick Steiner on the other. So, we lived up on the lake in Atlanta area. But Rick's son, which is, you guys know, is Braun Breaker. And so he's doing a hell of a job. And I like the storyline they're building with him. And I hear he just is your new Intercontinental Champion. So those two stories, I'm watching as much as I can of it, along with all the other stuff I got going on. However, those two storylines right now, and of course there are a lot of others, but those two I'd like to see. And also I'd like to see what happens with the Creed brothers now that they're under the watchful eye.
Are you mostly keeping up with Raw, or do you also keep up with SmackDown as well?
Yeah, I do. I do a 1 hour show prior to Monday Night Raw, and then 1 hour show prior to SmackDown. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on both of those products, and I'm trying to watch some AEW when I have time. But those two big shows, and of course, like I said, I did Conrad Thompson, the ad-free show, the SummerSlam watch party. I did that this past Saturday, and it was great. Had a hell of a time and big turnout for that. And maybe I'll be doing another one. I don't know. I would, if they ask me, I would say the Berlin show. Yeah, I would do that. We had such a good time with it. It was. I mean, I sat in this chair for 3 hours. I didn't take a break. I mean, it was just constant. So the fan interaction. But yeah, it was good, man. Fun.
We're all used to
that. we got a question in the comments.
Did you guys enjoy the show?
Yeah.
Was that like one of the best SummerSlams in a while, right?
SummerSlam, I told all my friends, coworkers, everybody, best SummerSlam in a long time.
Oh, it definitely was.
I
And
agree.
then followed by a great Monday Night Raw.
Yes. Yep.
So SmackDown has to step
man.
up.
I was like, okay, I gotta get all this right before I start spewing all this information out on the bombcaster. I'm like, okay, this is what. But yeah, it was a really good show. Followed up, which always is. The Monday nights after the PLEs are always pretty red hot, just about on every show. By the way, again, there's so much stuff going on. Gunther, how about that? What a storyline there, huh?
Oh yeah,
the King and World Heavyweight Champion Gunther.
There you go.
AKA the Ring General.
Absolutely, man. That I knew that was coming.
Right. Gotta say it right.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I just didn't know when. I thought they would save it for Berlin.
Yeah.
But
me and Soto and Jimmy actually thought the same thing. We thought they would save that moment for Berlin as well.
I thought it would be a bigger pop.
Yeah, there you go. So now he goes into Berlin as like this. He'll get a massive pop as a babyface. So, yeah, he's not going to go home to his home country and turn heel. I don't think. If he does, I'll be shocked. Maybe they'll just let it play out naturally.
Well, now he's got to face Orton, which was a curveball because he's from SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
But it sort of ties into their storyline, right?
The whole King of the Ring debate.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did have another question in today's. I was wondering what your favorite faction is today, and then what is your favorite faction of all time?
Wow, good question. Good question. Today, wow, there's a lot, man. I'm hoping that Karrion Cross and his, just because I know him, I hope that they really. He's such a good guy and a great worker. I hope that group does something more than where it's at right now, and I think it will. It's just a matter of timing, and they've got to feed him the right people. I don't think that the New Day is the right people for him to be working against. Just what I'm thinking. I'm looking big picture here. Hopefully he keeps rising. And I like I just mentioned earlier, the Creed brothers coming from NXT and now on the main roster. I think that those guys could do really well. As far as an old school faction, wow, I'd have to say that anything with Bobby Heenan is gold. So if you look back over as a manager in the crew, you think about all the people that Bobby has managed: Mr. Perfect, Andre the Giant. It goes on and on. That list of people, Haku, Ming. It's just anything with Bobby is gold. So for the young people out there listening, I sound like an old man here, but I am. For the young people listening, check out anything with Bobby Heenan on the Peacock Network. You won't be disappointed.
I got a question following up the faction. I mean, is there any tag teams you and your partner would have loved to take on in today's age?
Oh wow, another good question. Yeah, hit me with some besides the Creed brothers. I focus on those guys for some reason. Who else out there is a really good tag team? Solid, dominant tag team. Who you got?
Oof, so many good
Maybe the
teams.
two big guys with Karrion Cross, but I don't think that would be chemistry wise. I don't think that would be.
No, AOP
See,
and
that's the thing about WWE is a lot of times they'll just put two guys together who are not naturally a tag team. If that makes sense, and they've always done that throughout their history. They will put I don't know, they put Kane and X Pac together, or they would put, they would just throw guys together, and then it would eventually work out. Whereas I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but yeah, there's a lot of great talent out there.
The
oh yeah,
Usos.
There you go. See that
the
I think
DIY
that
is
would
another
work.
good one.
Yep, there you go. I think the Usos would be even better, just based on the styles, on the two styles meshing together. Yeah, I would say that's a good one. There, Soto, you picked up on that. Good job.
Thanks.
Wiccan's asking me to ask you this question.
All right.
What was the best thing Ox Baker taught you in the wrestling business?
Wow. Love Ox to death. But Ox didn't really train me a whole lot. He he introduced me to the business, but I was actually trained in Atlanta with the original power plant guys. Ox really just was really getting my feet wet. I was so green, and Ox was more of a brawling style. So as far as training me or teaching me a whole lot, I think he maybe taught me a little bit more of maybe the knowledge, the inner workings of the business, more so than actually any moves per se or any of the actual training. So yeah, I would say that he taught me more about just the workings of the business rather than actually in ring work.
I got another one.
Hit me
What's your
with it.
favorite finishing move besides yours?
Wow. Um, hmm. First thing I always think of is a meltdown. So of course.
Well, don't have a meltdown
No,
thinking
man.
about this
There,
question.
no. That's good. That's a good question, really. There are a lot of good. Like I watched some of AEW last night, and there had to be at least 10 false finishes of finishers. I thought, okay, that's it. All right, that's it. There's no ways to get up from that. That's it. I wait for a sledgehammer to come out the bag and kick out from that. I don't know. I like to see a good finisher, and that be it. There's nothing wrong with getting hit with something that's really devastating, and that's the end of the match. Um, with like Randy Orton's finish, that's a good one that can catch you out of anywhere, and that's the end of it. There's others. Yeah, man. you'd have to give me some examples, but that's just one right off the top that was quick and sudden and bam, that's it. There's no kicking out of it. You may get an interference or DQ or something by way of someone else. I like LA Knight's finish. Some John Rogers mentioned that. I see it in the comment there. Let me drag this over, get the notification right here. Okay.
I was gonna say
Yeah, I like
I don't
LA
got that
Knight's finish.
notification.
I don't know the
I
name.
thought that was
So
me. I was
he
like,
calls
what?
finisher. No, it's me. They just wanted me to verify. What is LA Knight's finisher? What do they call that?
BTS.
There you go. So that's a good one. I like his. It's a little bit like the flatliner, a little bit. John Rogers is saying that Baron Corbin's End of Days. That's a good one too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of them out there. Yeah, and it's just a matter
Well,
of how devastating they look. And again, if they
so I guess I have a
if they
question
build
following
the
up that.
finish, okay, go for it. I'm listening.
What was the most devastating finisher you ever took?
Wow, man, I've taken a lot of them. I've given a lot. I've given a lot. And I've taken a lot. Probably the Tombstone. That was a good one. The Scorpion Death Drop from Sting. The Sharpshooter from Bret Hart. Wow, who else is on? Who's some of those big time players? The Elbow from Randy Savage. Who else? More current that you guys would know. I know there's some
All
out
those
there.
you named, I know.
I mean, I think
Okay, well, I'm just
a
thinking
lot of
maybe
WWE
some of the
fans,
audience out there.
the WWE
What's
fans
that?
have been asking about the Undertaker stuff the whole time. Like,
Oh,
you
okay,
already
okay.
said the Tombstone. I was like, okay, I think they're satisfied
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
that was yeah. I've been in like I don't know how many caskets I've been in. I lost count.
Oof.
So casket matches. Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
I got another one for a modern day question.
hmm.
Okay.
Um, I would love your take on the Bloodline storyline, and then if Adam Bomb and Roman Reigns were to go at it, what are your thoughts?
Okay. First part of that was what I think about the bloodline. I think it's been a really good storyline. If you think about how far this goes back, even before Jimmy and Jay split when they were together as a tag, and then Roman going and they brought Rock in. It's really progressed and built to the story it is now. And of course, Jay as a single is really over. They've really gotten the most mileage out of that group. The second part of that is if Adam Bomb would have faced Roman Reigns, Adam Bomb would have got beat. Now, if Roman Reigns faced Wrath or one half of Chronic, who knows? We'll see.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, Adam Bomb was at the time was just not strong enough. Just like if you look back at early Roman Reigns when he first started, he was not championship material. So it's a building process. Remember Roman started with the Shield, and did any of you guys think that Roman would be world champion and have the run he had?
Not
Not
this
back
run.
then.
See,
Not back then.
yeah, see, that's what I mean. So that you got to look at the big picture and say, okay, where is this booking heading, and is the character and/or is the person strong enough to get it over?
Well, you said we'll see. So you're saying that there's a chance that you
A
get back in
chance
the
of
ring.
what? Oh no, none. I'm happily
I'm just kidding.
retired. No, I know
I'm
you
just
are.
kidding.
No, I am three-time world champion. I'm happily retired. I had a great career. I'm blessed. I'm absolutely blessed. The guys I worked with, and so yeah, man, I'm very super appreciative. I still have so much going on today, and just really good positive stuff. So yeah, happy.
How
With
about a
that.
modern day
So
like WWE cameo appearance?
I wouldn't say no. As far as I was offered a Legends deal, and I turned that down because I own my own trademarks. So that I own Adam Bomb, Wrath, and Chronic, all three of those. So those things. That's why I have some of the merchandising and licensing deals that I have now. But I would not. I would. I would listen to and think about. I would circle back around to that. I guess the Legends deal, just because I think there's such a good marketing potential for the character and all my characters. Wrath, Adam Bomb, and Chronic are very like toyetic and very game friendly, if that makes sense, as far as the look of the characters. I think they can do a ton with those. So yeah, I'm not saying no as far as that side of it.
Well,
So
going off of that real quick,
Speaking,
WTP. Sorry, that Legends deal. Was that before Triple H, or was that more
Yes,
recently?
yes, yep.
Okay.
So that's why you see why I'm circling back around now. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
absolutely. I know a lot of
Yeah, yeah,
wrestlers would come
yeah.
circle
And
back around.
I got along with Hunter and everything. So, and I think he's doing a lot for guys that sort of paved the way, kind of thing. And not saying that I was one of those people that paved the way, but I was there during they called the dark ages, so really hard times as far as in the business. So yeah, there's a lot of good positive stuff happening now, and I think that's great for all the talent, whether it be under the previous ownership or what the way it's going now currently. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good positive stuff, and I think the guys are just looking at what I hear. I think guys are much happier with the way things are going right now, and it's red hot. That makes it easier when you got the arenas that are full, not just in Europe but internationally. Because we would always when the houses were down in the states, we would always go international. And when you walk out into an arena that's got 5,000 people and a lot of empty seats, and you go to an arena that's got 25,000 people and it's packed, it makes a difference. It may not sound like that. I mean, you're going to work hard every night. There's just something a little extra when there's that many people, that much adrenaline going. So, yeah.
so you mentioned the
Appreciate it.
Legends contract, right? Did
What's
that
that?
come with a Hall of Fame induction?
Yeah, I don't know if they think I'm Hall of Fame worthy. I would have to say I don't know. That's out of my hands, out of my control. Something I don't really think about it till somebody brings it up. No, man. Like I said, I'm very lucky and blessed. To have the career that I had. If something ever happens down the line, then that's cool. If it doesn't, I'm good either way. But yeah, I would revisit the Legends deal. Just I think there's like I said, there's so much left on the marketing side of it, especially with the way the gaming is going on right now with you know you know WWE 2K. I mean, it's killing it.
Uh,
And every game that's followed after that has just been legendary. So yeah, it's I would say that would be a good conversation to have.
all right.
There's a
And
question for
I
George
got
and
it.
Jimmy real quick, because I don't have 2K24, but is he in
I
the
don't either.
creations? Uh, Have
I'm
you guys checked if
sure
he's in the
I
creators?
actually do need to check that. I'm sure he is somewhere
I'm sure he
We
is.
because
should see if
guys come
somebody has
up
created his.
with a lot of crazy creations all the time.
I get them all the time. People send me, like the backside creation where they put together the characters and stuff. Yeah, they send me that stuff all the time. So yeah, um, you know, there's a lot of ways to I get besides what the merchandise and the figures that are out. I'll also get like I don't want to say the word bootleg, but they're just made specifically. Just they'll only make one figure, and it's immaculate from head to toe. It's just not a mass production of them.
All right.
So yeah, I know there's some back. I don't know what's the right word for it. Where you can go in. I'm not a gamer. Full disclosure, I am not a gamer.
The-
But I just know how hot it is, and I understand that there are ways to create characters.
and Wiccan's asking
I
another question about Hall of Fame.
Wiccan is a huge Adam
Oh,
Bombcast supporter. I mean, hats off to that guy,
oh yeah.
crushing it as
He's
usual.
a big time WTP fan as well, or follower,
Oh yes, he
supporter.
is. Yeah, I know he is. I know he is. I checked him out. He knows what's up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But he's asking, who's one person that's not in the Hall of Fame that should be, in your opinion?
That was my
Demolition.
question, Wiccan.
Demolition. Demolition. Demolition.
Okay.
I mean, there's many others. Uh, you guys can tell me this. You probably know. I don't think Mr. Perfect is in the Hall of Fame. Yes or no? Is he? Do you know? Kurt Hennig?
I believe he is. I want to say he
He
is.
may be. If he is, God bless him. I hope he is. Uh,
But
yeah,
I
I would
know,
say Demolition.
I know
Right.
Owen's
That's
not,
my
and
first. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know there's a lot. Um, I
Yes, he was
think, and
inducted.
I'll get heat for this, but so what? I think Demolition should have been in before the Bellas. Just saying.
I can agree with that one.
Yep.
Just going on, you know, nothing against them, but if I had, I would go look at the history and then go that way. Yeah.
2007, Mr. Perfect was inducted.
Okay, there you go. See,
Nice.
well deserved. Absolutely well. I thought he was. Uh, John Rogers said 100 on demolition. There you go. Thank you, John.
Oh yeah.
Like that input.
We
Thank
got
you.
Jimmy about
Tammy's
to
being
ask
a
a question.
sweetheart there. See,
Come on,
Tammy's being
Jimmy.
sweet to be there.
I've been
She's being
waiting
nice. Thank you,
patiently.
Tammy.
So,
Uh,
who is one or several of the funniest superstars that you have in the back?
the funniest stories. I couldn't hear the last part.
One or several of the funniest superstars in the locker room.
Oh, easily hands down, my partner Brian Adams. Oh yeah, classically funny. I mean, he not just. I thought he was funny. The whole locker room thought he was funny. I mean, he could do a spot on impersonation of Vince McMahon like you would think that Vince was calling you. Spot on. He could tell you, hey, Jimmy, I need you over at my office at 4 o'clock. You'd be there at 4 o'clock. You would believe it. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of guys that were. Hurricane Shane Helms is another guy that's funny as hell. Very witty, very, and you want those guys around that make you laugh because the road can be a grind. If you guys don't know, I know you've heard about it. It's during my time we were on the road for 290 days plus, so it was good to have these guys. I mean, the schedule's nothing like it used to be, and that's good for the talent because you don't want to just destroy the guys completely. But yeah, you want to have somebody that's funny. You always want to have somebody that keeps your spirits up and laughs. And I'm all about laughing and having a good time. Especially when you're in that grind. At the airport at 5 a.m. and you didn't get back to your hotel till midnight. Yeah, yeah.
What's up with
Of
that?
the road.
There you go.
Sorry.
Now you're good.
Hilarious.
Speaking
Yeah.
of the road, who drove more?
One more time, man. Your mic's real low.
Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
Who drove more?
Who drove? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, who drove more
As in
on the
driving?
road?
Yep.
Oh, we sort of split it up. Yeah, we split it up. It varied. And then if I was with two people, it just depends. Yeah, we would split it up. It'd be fair. But some guys just love to drive, and that's okay with me too. If I trust them. Yeah, there's a trust factor. You got to earn that trust before you can. You don't just let the greenhorn come in and start driving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, I got
know
one
Soto
that's
has more
pretty
John
creative.
Rogers. John Rogers.
Yeah, I
jumped
got
in there with a
one.
question. What's up? Okay, shoot. Go ahead.
All right, if Adam Clark had, I'm sorry, Adam Clark. If Bryan Clark had a roast, which wrestlers would you like to roast you?
Oh man. Oh gosh, I don't know. That's a tough one there. Uh, Probably PCO and Billy Gunn, and yeah, I'm sure there's probably a few more. I had some really funny road stories with Carl that it'd be too long to go over here, but yeah, PCO is another great guy, absolutely funny as hell too.
We just saw him on
French
Teenage.
Canadian. Yeah, there you go. A matter of
We
fact,
did.
speaking of PCO, and I'm going to tie this in here real quick. I'm thinking about it. October 18th, 19th, and 20th, I will be in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Big 2-day event. Autograph signing, virtual signing, the works. So Montreal, October 18th and 19th, I will be there. Actually, 3 days, but those 2 days are the event days. So follow me and my pages, and you'll find out if you're in the Montreal area. Come see me.
Nice. I mean, so we were just talking about PCO. Like, how do you think he's doing in TNA right now? Because I know you asked me that question. Now I'm gonna ask you that question.
Yeah. I think he's doing amazing. I think he's had a resurrection, so to speak, of his career. I think he actually took some time away from the business, which probably helped him in his longevity because he's doing some crazy, crazy stuff. There's no way I would do some of the crazy bumps he's taking. But I think he's healthy from what I can see. I'll probably hopefully get to see him. We'll hopefully go and have dinner in October. The promoter I talked to said he will be in the area, so hopefully we'll get to hook up and go have dinner, and I'll get to talk to him more. But yeah, man, I think they're featuring him really well, and it's a great character. So yeah, I think as long as he can stay healthy, that's the key to everybody's career. People ask me like Braun Breaker, will he be world champion? If he can stay healthy, and he's already IC champ. So yeah,
So, I mean, we're going to
So
go off a modern day question, unless Jimmy has something.
I did.
Okay.
When
Go
you're
ahead.
with Chronic and with Brian Adams, what was it like working with Steven Richards?
easy, easy. Love Steven, man. Really super great guy. One of the most positive people out there, man, and just a great person. Love being around him. Yeah, man, just a great guy. I follow him on all of his media. He does a lot of home gym stuff on YouTube, and then also on social media in general. But yeah, great guy. Has kept himself in great shape. He's doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of good to see him bounce back from his sickness he had not that long ago, too.
Yeah, he had a yes severe back surgery injury, which is a crazy story. If you guys want to check his story out with Stevie Richards, but yeah, man, he's got himself healthy again. He looks good, and just a sort of a weird kind of a back injury slash. I don't know if you would call it a virus or what you would call it. Yeah, hard to say. There's a whole story behind it. It's too long to go into, but bottom line is he's healthy today and he's doing great, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We all remember Stevie.
Yeah,
Oh, some of us.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Soto.
Oh, yeah. I know Soda had another question for you.
Sorry, I was unmuting my mic.
Okay.
I lost my train of thought, so come back to me, guys.
That's all right.
It's all good.
Someone did pop up with a
So
question. They wanted to know, was that Wiccan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Wiccan. He wants to know if I've been to the Hart Dungeon. The answer is no. Yes and no. I've been to the Hart family house, or the old school family house for Thanksgiving. We were all up in Calgary at the time. It was around the holidays, at least. May have not been Thanksgiving, but around the holidays. And they had some of the guys over, and but yeah, I did not was not a part of the famous Stu Hart Dungeon era. No.
So I'm going to bounce off that question because I know I'm going to get a lot of heat if I don't ask this one, being from Dallas. Did you
Okay.
ever get a chance to compete in the Sportatorium here in Dallas, Texas?
I did not. Nope, sure did not. I think that was probably mid to late '80s. Is that right? That era.
Right around there, yeah. Von Erichs,
And
Freebirds.
I didn't break into the business until about 1990. So I missed that era. I never worked with any of the Von Erichs. Very familiar with their history. I went to see the movie. uh, yeah, but yeah, I never worked with Carrie Von. Carrie was ahead of my time, and all the other Von Erichs, but Carrie was ahead of my time. So yeah, never did work in the sportatorium. I worked in Dallas many times, but not the sportatorium. Yeah,
So your time was more of the reunion arena time with WCW.
correct. Yes, right. And with WWF, I want to say it was Reunion Arena also. I think that was it.
Yeah, for that time period, yes.
Right.
I remember. All right, so I know you talked big tonight about the Creed brothers, Bronson Reed, and your next door neighbor. Oh my God,
Braun
Braun Breaker. Yes,
Braun Breaker. My old neighbor, but yeah, his dad.
your old
Absolutely,
neighbor.
yeah.
I would
Yeah,
love to
Braun.
know with the up and coming talent, who are your eyes on right now that you think will be, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton esque. You know what I mean? Main event.
I would think, yeah, I would have to go back to Drew McIntyre. I think he's got everything. He's been there before. He was a world champion prior to. He's worked every level to the top, back down again. He's back on a big upswing. I would say Drew and of course Braun as a younger talent. Those two right there, just off the top of my head, but there are a lot of others. Um, I still think they could probably get more mileage out of Punk as this thing progresses. Same thing with Seth. Yeah, and then of course on the women's side, I think there's a big time comeback coming from Charlotte Flair. I think she's going to be do great. I think that Rhea has come back and made a big impact at SummerSlam. And then if you're looking really down the road, look at Dominic. I know you. Most people think, oh
Absolutely.
yeah,
Oh,
but think
From
about how much heat that guy gets on the mic.
from
There
here,
you
man.
go.
I
There you
always
go. See,
support.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. He learned it from his dad. So there you go.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think Dominic down the line, if he's just get in the gym and hit the weights and work out a little bit and keep progressing like he's doing, I think got all the makings of a big star down the line.
What's your dream match that hasn't happened?
Uh, I would have to say, and we this has happened during the COVID era when they put the title on Drew, and it sounds like I'm campaigning for Drew, but I do think that
That's okay.
again he's got another world title in him, and I think that he would be the guy because I don't know how long Roman will stay around. It's hard to say, man. It just there are other things that happen outside of the wrestling business that it's hard to predict, and that's why there's always booking on the fly kind of thing. Yeah, there's always plans for next year's WrestleMania, which is in Las Vegas, by the way. But there's always plans for what's happening in Mania and building up to that. But then again, there's always other things that happen outside of and even part of in the ring. So yeah, it's hard to say, man. But I would go. I would think that Drew. I would like to see him get another run.
gotcha. I got
Do you
another
typically
question.
attend those
Oh,
conventions or WrestleMania?
I did in Dallas. I was there a couple years ago at Mania. Yep, I spent I think 2 or 3 days there at WrestleCon.
I love WrestleCon.
Yeah, we had a great time, and so I'm very selective, I guess is the word. I sort of, I have an agent out of New York, and he handles all my appearances and stuff. It just depends, man. Like this thing, Montreal just happened coming up in October. That worked out really well. It's just a timing issue. We just bought a new property here in Arizona, and I've been real busy with this place. And so, if it works out for me and it works out for my promoter, my agent, yeah, I do stuff. But again, I'm sort of kind of selective, honestly. Yeah.
gotcha. So we've talked about the young talent a little bit here today. I just got one more
Right.
question, and I'm done for that. But
Okay.
where
Real
you are in
quick
life,
before you that, wait, I'm gonna hit you with a timeout here. I'm gonna be the heel backing off. Tammy wants to know did I ever meet Moolah, so I'm gonna answer Tammy. And I did not. I never did meet her. I know she is a big time legend, especially in the South Carolina area. But no, I did not get to meet her. Hector, welcome in, my friend. Okay, hit me with it.
gotcha.
Let's go.
Uh,
All right.
has any of the current talent, like Break or anybody, reached out to you for advice? And if they have, what advice did you give them?
I wouldn't say they reached out. Some of the guys I talked to, we like with Karrion Cross. If I chit chat with him on social media, with Lance Archer, we're always like Lance had a great match this past week or maybe a week and a half ago, and I just told him, I said, man, you look great. Had a hell of a match. You did it perfectly. I just thought he looked great, and so yeah, I don't. If I see guys at conventions or appearances or that kind of thing, we'll always chit chat a little bit about what's going on with the business. But yeah, if they reach out, I'm more than happy to. At least if they want my opinion on something, I always absolutely would give my opinion if they wanted it. And if any way I could help, I would absolutely do it. Yeah.
I don't know if any of my other co-hosts have any more questions for him.
Jimmy?
I got one. Which superstars where you feel most comfortable in the ring with?
Well, I would probably say just about everybody. Honestly, I mean, there you have to really trust the talent that you're working with, trust your opponent, kind of thing. Um, I've been in there with everybody from Yokozuna on down. As far as big guys and uh, superstar talent from Macho Man to Bret Hart to Undertaker to Kane to whatever, all the way down the line. I've worked with from the top to the bottom kind of thing. I think I've trusted just about everybody. I can't. I'm sure there's been somebody in my career that I thought, okay, watch this guy. He's not that safe, kind of thing. I'm sure if I had to look at my history and go, okay, there were probably a couple in there that I wasn't. You know what I mean? I just really had my guard up a little more than I would normally, if that makes sense. But for the most part, I would say, yeah, I did trust, yeah, working with everybody.
All right. Sounds
I would
good.
love to
That was
know
it.
the defining match of your career. What is the one match that you let everybody know? Hey, you don't know who I am? Check out this match.
Any of my
I think it's Soto.
as the Wrath undefeated streak as a single, but then again, the stuff with Chris Canyon was really good. I loved all that stuff. But again, the three world titles with Chronic, any of those, I would say the All Japan Championships, which was like the cherry on top for me because I was a huge Stan Hansen fan, and Stan was on a tour as an ambassador for All Japan, and he presented us with the titles in the ring. So you can imagine 50, 60,000 people, the streamers coming down, and we get the titles and a huge trophy that was just massive. I mean, just yeah, man, that was probably the top. But any titles that we won as Chronic, and yeah, there's so many. Honestly, it's hard to pick one.
Oh yeah. All right. So
Appreciate you.
Jimmy had one more, or did he
That,
get?
that was all mine.
Did he get got by Soto?
It
I
got
guess he got got.
Got.
But no, this was fun. I really do appreciate you coming on today, Brian. I mean, can any
Absolutely.
like? Do you want to let everybody know where they could reach you at on all your socials?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for having me. First of all, I've watched your show. I think you're doing great with it. I think you're on the rise, no doubt. Keep doing what you're doing. So, in that respect, absolutely good work. You guys are killing it. So, keep going. You'll probably be doubling your numbers here real soon. Like I said, I catch you all the time, like sort of catching me on here. I'm on Monday nights 1 hour prior to Monday Night Raw that's on USA, as you guys know. And then again, tomorrow night I'll be live again 1 hour prior to SmackDown, which is on Fox. So yeah, man. And again the pay per view. I planned on doing a pay per view watch party this past show, but got called away to work with Conrad Thompson and Ad Free, which was a great experience, and I would probably do it again. But I also want to do a live on this show. So yeah, man, it's fun. But I'm on Bryan Clark 3X on Instagram, Real Bryan Clark on X, and then also on this platform. So yeah, man, you guys are welcome to follow. I appreciate it. This is fun for me. It's something that I like doing. I love. I've always been a fan. If you love the business like I do, there's nothing wrong with watching the product and enjoying it, and I like to talk about it, and it's a creative type. I'm a create guy, so whether it be merchandise, those type things, I like that aspect and that side of the business. I always have. I got a ton of stories to go with that. But yeah, man, again, follow me on here. I enjoy it. You guys, I love the questions, and I try to get to as many as I can in the time that I'm on here. So yeah, you guys are absolutely. Anybody watching the show tonight, welcome to join me. Absolutely.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I definitely appreciate you. Sincerely appreciate you. And again, thanks for your service.
You're
I would
more
love to
than
know where we
welcome.
can get some
And
Adam Bomb merch.
absolutely, the shop is on the way, man. I started submitting some stuff today. I got a ton of new stuff. Brand new Chronic Tag Team figures just dropped at San Diego, by the way, Comic Con. There with the crew. They
Dope.
just had a big announcement. Those are officially on their way. So you can get those now. And I got just signed a new deal for the Wrath figures that are coming out. I can't really say any more than that, but they are badass to say the least. So yeah, man, really, really, just good stuff, man. Really good, positive, creative stuff, and yeah, I enjoy that side of it. And yeah, man, you know, Ho, hit me with the green.
Can I ask
Yeah,
you who
yeah
the toy manufacturer
I love
was
the fans.
from
Yeah.
Comic Con?
What's that again?
Who the toy manufacturer was from Comic Con that did the announcement?
It's Matt Cordona's company. It is
Got you.
it's the Bendies, but it's not. I don't think it's the Bendies. It's a different style. It's the first ever Chronic figures ever made. There were originally some back in the day that were coming, but these are the first ever. So I think they're. I'll be shocked if they don't sell out. Put it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I will have some on my page here in the shop. I always get a surplus of each. So yeah.
Very nice.
Now on these merch,
So
do you do
also
signings on them too?
anybody in Montreal, I'll be in Canada in October. So
You about to say
I
something?
just want
So?
No, I was just saying on the merch. Does he do signings? If you do signings for them,
oh yeah, absolutely. These like I said, what's coming up in Montreal, the promoter there, we'll work out a deal and they'll do a shipment there, and then once I arrive, then I'll sign whatever they need me to sign while during those. I don't know how many hours I'll be doing it. At least I'm guessing at least 3 hours. Usually the signings are in a block of 4 hours. They give us a little break in between, so we'll stay busy the whole time, and they'll have plenty there. But again, for those people that of course cannot attend live, and I'm not in any live events, that's why I want to do the store so that people have a chance if they want it. It's an option. But I also have Wrestle Merch Central in the UK. I also have Pro Wrestling Tees here in the US. So there's a lot of options for fans if they want it.
yeah, just
appreciate.
going back to what Soda said. Just thank you for your service and thank you for agreeing to come doing this.
Oh yeah.
I thank you guys for having me again. I think you're doing the right thing. You guys got a great station. Just keep it up, and I'll be right there hanging with you, man.
Oh yeah. We appreciate you for that. And again, go follow Bryan Clark, aka Atom Bomb. He's been a wonderful guest. I mean, hopefully someday soon we'll have him back on. See where he's at with the merch and everything. See if he's thinking about getting back in the ring.
And now you've got Bobby Lashley and Stasiak right there in Dallas, man. So I got an in for you, so we can make a call. There you go.
That'd be dope to have Bobby Lashley.
We'll definitely try to work something out. But like I said, go give him a follow. Great guy. You can see for yourself. He's been one of the best guests that we've had here in a very long time. You made Jimmy talk a lot.
That's a lot for Jimmy.
Okay.
No, but we really do appreciate you, and I like to see big things from your channel very soon. But I'll be watching just like everybody else. Anything else from Soto, Jimmy?
No, just a big thank you. This has been a lot of fun. I hope we definitely have you on again soon. Maybe we can actually do it in the normal format, so that way we're on YouTube, Twitch, and all the other platforms.
All right.
So yeah, definitely we'll try that.
Well, you guys have a great night, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, and I will be seeing you guys soon.
All right,
Appreciate
sir,
you,
Have a
Bryan.
good night.
Appreciate it, Brian.
All right.
Have a good night. Thank you.